In terms of the non-heads, they've just been absolutely wild. The greys are like shad at this stage, Dinesh. If you want a grey shark on it, come to the south coast, throw a bait, you're going to get one.
This week's been all about shad. 1.5 kg to 3 kg shad.
Now the good news is that the beck have started to show their faces and their numbers.
There you go, buddy. Hit now!
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Bream.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Angler News South Africa, where you are in the right place to find all this week's hottest fishing news. What a week it has been. It has been absolutely mind-blowing with the amount of species that are coming out. So here's how we're starting this off. Training season is over. The transition season is over. We are into the winter species. It is full-on action throughout the entire coastline. And guys, I'm not just talking about the edibles. You gotta hear a lot about that right now, okay? Because, you know, we're going into the winter period. However, the South Coast, oh my God. Our reports from Adam, wait for it. It's coming out at the end of the show. You're gonna have to hear what's happening on the South Coast. It is absolutely unbelievable. Now, apart from that, this week we have got the UKFC kayak competition. You know, it's the world's biggest kayak event. I can't wait for this weekend to see the catches these guys bring in. Now, if you are searching for a shad, we've got the spots for that. If you are searching for those bream species, Rockcod, the influx of Rockcod that's happening in KZN right now, that is coming up as well. And as for the freshwater, well, with 2 weeks left for the river season and all that trout action happening, Jan is going to tell you exactly what flies you're going to want to use for this. But before we get into it, guys, huge shout out to our sponsors, the Kingfisher.
Meet the all-new Crossfire LT, redesigned to transform every cast into a moment worth remembering. With advanced air drive design, feel ultra-smooth, effortless rotation that is light, clean, and incredibly responsive. At its core, tough digigear delivers lasting durability and consistent power, cast after cast. The LC ABS spool boosts your casting distance while reducing line trouble, giving you total control on the water. And when the pressure's on, the ATD Type L drag system keeps things smooth, steady, and in your hands, lightweight, strong, and reliable. The Crossfire LT available in sizes 1000, 2000, 3000C, and 4000C. Fish smarter, fish smoother, fish Crossfire LT. Available at tackle stores nationwide.
Thank you, the Kingfisher. Guys, remember there is a new Crossfire reel out there, and that is now available in that 5,000 size. Just dropped this week. If you are looking for something for that scratching species that's coming up in the show, this is a reel you definitely want to check out. All right, now let's get into the show. Let's kick it off in my hometown with Mike V and Brad Krobler.
How's it, guys? Yeah, this weekend was all about the edibles. Our edibles seem to have made a slight disappearance, which they normally do this time of year. A couple of Blu-rays will pop up, small diamonds, things like that. But yeah, this weekend was mainly about the edibles. The guys traveled a bit. They went to go look for cob, bronze bream, stone bream, rockcods, all those sort of things. So most folks were traveling far south or far north to go find a bite. They did find some lovely fish though. A couple good-sized cob into the teens, those 15, 16 kilo size cobs. Some lovely 2-3 kilo size bronze bream came out. But yeah, the guys did do quite a bit of traveling for them. On the beachfront and then actually that side, 1 or 2 small grays and 1 or 2 little diamonds. That was about it. The edibles were missing. The sea wasn't really good for them, but yeah, the oaks that did travel did very well. On the paddle ski and ski boat side, the guys will be getting some lovely kuta from as far south as you can think, right up to far north. Snooks have been trying some big ones in the mix there, 7-8 kilo size, 1 or 2 really big kuta. Guys are saying there have been 1 or 2 amberjack popping up and some Cape Yellowtail too. So the guys are getting those. Geelbek made an appearance as well as a couple of Dagas here and there. So yeah, the ski boat side should start warming up with the winter fishing. Durban Bay was a bit quiet on the weekend. There were 1 or 2 small keys around, couple of grunter, couple of snapper salmon. Not a lot to scream off about, but there was bites for the guys. Quite a few of the fish were a little bit on the undersized side, so just make sure that you keep your fish that are all size. Guys, thank you very much. This is Mike V for NSA News.
Good day, guys. It's Brad here from Ski Fishing Charters. Now, the good news is that the beck have started to show their faces and their numbers. They're out in the deep areas of the Glen Ashley and actually all the way through to the Bluff area, the deeper wrecks and stuff. There's been quite a few beck. On the shallow pipe off the bluff, there've been a couple of Dagas, but generally the bottom fishing has been quite great this whole last week with the nice weather we've been having. Bit swelly over the last couple of days, but all fishable. Yeah, haven't done much of the snook and cooter stuff, but yeah, I still believe there have been some coming out. If people want to go spend the time. Daga says coming for the time of year, we can go catch some proper fish. This is Brad for Angling News South Africa. Parklines, and speak to you guys all next week.
Mike and Brad, what a start to the show. Didn't I tell you that winter species are out there? I mean, that is absolutely epic. All that beck and Daga salmon. Oh, I spoke to certain anglers this week and they got their quota within 45 minutes. That's how much of bottom fishing is going on and guys getting rewarded. Now, speaking of someone else that has certainly been rewarded, Michaela Daniels, she went out on her birthday and she got to back herself. Like I said, guys, this is a reporter who would not just take ears on the ground, but her hands on the rod. And she has even more to give us, and that is the news off the North Coast.
What's up, everyone? This is Michaela from Durban, reporting for Angler News SA. It's been another insane week of fishing along our coast, and kicking things off, we're starting at Blue Lagoon, where there's been some lovely grunter and half cobs coming out, while the estuary has been producing some small kingies and rock salmon. For the guys at Beechwood, there's still some shad coming out and grunter, along with the odd GT in between, but it's mainly still the inedibles on the bite. Moving up to Virginia, the shad are still coming out, as well as a couple of grunter. While for our Mhlanga anglers, there are a few shad around, but the guys are mainly still getting into some sharks and rays. For Mklosi, there's been a few shad and Rockcod coming out with the usual scratching species, while for the offshore side of things, Durban is still producing some big kuta and snook and the odd queenfish, while for the bottom side of things, there's been a lot of Geelbek coming out amongst the usual red and Rockcods. For Mklosi, however, there's been some big kuta coming out of the shallower bait marks and some yellowfin tuna coming out of the deep. For the bottoms, the guys are still getting into some lovely Geelbek, Rockcod, and the odd amberjack. Moving right up the coast to Belito, there's been some lovely sized shad and cobs coming out, while St. Lucia is still producing some lovely GTs, Rockcods, and speckled snappers. For the offshore side, Belito saw some snook, kuta, and yellowfin tuna come out over the past week, while St. Lucia is still producing big snook, kuta, a couple of yellowfin tuna, and some bullfish. That's going to be it from me for this week, guys. Tight lines and have a great one.
Thank you, Michaela. What a range of species coming out from the North Coast. Absolutely loving this period, loving the season. Thank you so much for that. It is definitely getting us more excited. Okay, so we know Durban is absolutely happening right now. We know the North Coast is cracking. Hey, by the way, while we're on the North Coast, we've got more news from Tugela. And wow, there is so much of shad coming out. I have no doubt there's going to be something else swimming in between them. But let's hear more about it from Richard.
The Bottas Ski Boat Club at Tugela Mouth Fishing Report for this week starts with congratulating Simpiwe Mafresh for a beautiful 8.7 kg Lobotus caught from North Bank Mouth. This week's been all about shad. 1.5 kg to 3 kg shad. Killer bait is karateen, sardines, red-eye, Japanese mackerel, live mullet. Even spinning seems to be catching them, as Tian Kutsia caught 3 lovely fish on spinners. Do remember, guys, that the minimum size is 30 centimetres and your daily limit is 4 per licensed fisherman. Best fishing from Tugela Mouth at the moment, early AM to late afternoon. Don't thwack your bait out there, just flick it out 20 to 60 metres. This is shad we're talking about. So car park 1, called the Resort Car Park, the newly formed spit bar to the right. The fish in to the left of that is absolutely brilliant in the gully and the holes. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. What a nice motivational report to get us eager for this weekend, even to come into Tugela. I mean, whoa, this is just really getting exciting right now. So far, there is no area where I can think of where we cannot catch a fish. Now, what about the Midlands? Okay, let's see what's going on. We want some trout action. We also want some of that bass action. By the way, you know that UKFC competition? They are even having bass involved in it. So if you are not planning on heading out to the surf, you could also go and hit out there at Hazelmere Dam. They have anglers ready to get you onto a kayak and go and fish the comp. So make contact with them. There is still the window open to go and register. But for now, let's hear from Jan and all the species that are coming out from the Midlands.
Hey there, guys. So for all of you around that are still listening to this, I'm happy to note that your anchor system is fully functional. as some others were on the brink of failure up here and letting go as a result of the quote-unquote strong breeze, as noted by the Norwegians at YR. Not quite the weekend to be out fishing either, even though with the prefrontal weather seemed to be quite okay, but the precipitous dive in the pressure gave another indication that there was something serious on its way. And the fish just no. And there was a distinct lack of interest in anything that was being thrown at them. Last weekend, the Midlands get a little bit more rain in the 10 to 15 millimeter range, but with a bit more in a couple of places. The additional moisture generated some snow on top of the Berg and Lesotho, hence the sudden arrival of winter proper up here in the Midlands. Looks like there is some stable weather ahead, a tad chilly perhaps, but much more amenable to getting out and throwing a line at whatever finned denizen tickles your fancy. With a little more than 2 weeks left on the Trout River calendar, the river anglers of the Natal Fly Fishers Club should be making the most of it before the 3-month-long closure. Guys, a reminder, last day of the rivers is 31 May and reopens again on 1 September. But the weatherman had other ideas, however, this weekend, and even though there was an attempt made on the browns of the Moy River this past weekend, the fish were unresponsive and remained unmolested. Even with the Stillwater event season kicking off this weekend, much the same applies to the NFFC Stillwater anglers. Although there was a brave attempt to get out on, quote-unquote, the day of the big wind by one intrepid angler, or perhaps he just didn't check the forecast, but as per the return, quote, the wind won, but not before a fish did succumb to the wiles of the fly. On the upside, there have been some good fish coming around from other waters in and around the Midlands, and as well as further afield from the central Drakensberg. So as things cool down, the Stillwater fishing should heat up. The freezer air coming down from up top has certainly given the Midlands that wintry feel, and the still waters will be cooling down nicely as a result. Typical flies for this time of year are the ever-popular woolly bugger, dragon and damselfly patterns, as well as minnows and tadpoles, as the fish feed up on the larger food items in preparation for the cold winter waters ahead. And as the waters get colder, larger prey items will thin out, and smaller prey items like nymphs will be on the main menu. This weekend sees the start of the winter stillwater fishing event season with a Hastings exclusive and leg one of the Tops Corporate Trophy Challenge. Watch the space next week for news on the fishing. Next month sees the Camberg Trout Festival and Boston Fly Fishing Festival, as well as further legs of the Tops Corporate Challenge. With a dearth of any news in the bass catches locally, and with the recent cancellation of the ever-popular Albert Falls Classic, there's no need for anglers to get out in the water and practice. Word from further afield from last weekend's KZN Small Craft Bass League event number 3 of 2026 at Ananda Dam yielded some fish of around the 1 kilogram mark. We await the official results. Guys, do pop in the Kingfish in Maritzburg for the best in tackle advice. And this is Jan Korabel reporting for Kingfisher and for Angler News South Africa.
Brilliant stuff, Jan. Thank you so much for those tips as to what flies to use right now. You just make it so easy for us. That's the beauty of these Angler News reporters, guys. They are so involved in the facet that they are reporting on that I feel as though I cannot miss a fish when I'm listening to these guys. They are such experts. Jan is an absolute legend. Is there any other place you can get such a great detailed report apart from these Angler News reporters? Now let's head on back down to the coast, starting off in the mid-south coast where there's been a fair amount of action. Here is Ray Thompson reporting from those areas all the way from Bluff right up to Scottborough.
Quite a few fish came out, in particular lanterns and rockcod. And I'm talking all the way from Scottborough through to the Bluff. There were rockcods and lanterns. They definitely starting to make their appearance. You know, sardine season's coming. The water's starting to get colder. But again, we've got some big seas in that. However, it's that in-between season. Summer fish have pretty much gone and the winter fish are just starting to trickle through now. Anyway, guys, go out there, have some fun, keep on trying.
Thank you, Ray. You know what? Big seas, yeah, that's all right. I'm not complaining because last week we fished those big seas and we still got the fish. So, guys, those windows open? And, you know, when that window opens up to go and have a morning session or an afternoon session or even a night session, get out there and get fishing. The fish are on the bite. Now, another area where it has been absolutely cooking. I know I made you wait for this. Oh, it's going to be so worth it. Guys, here is the report from the lower south coast, and trust me, they are back. Here's Adam Lyon to tell you all about it.
Hey, Vanesh, I hope you're doing well, my friend. All the listeners out there, as usual, have had an awesome week. Now, down on the south coast, I don't know what more to say. It is just the south coast. Whether you're bringing your masala, you adding spices to the pot, you calling your nyanga to help you with some muti, I don't know, because it's just been absolutely dorm down on the south coast, Vanesh. Now, we've had 2 bomber-sized GTs pop up out of nowhere. one down at Uvongo Pier out of all places. Now, we know this particular pier has definitely not been fishing well over the last couple of years, but every just now and again, it surprises you with either a huge size cob, a big sandy, a big raggy, a kingy, or just a massive GT, which happened this week. So I don't know what else to say about Uvongo Pier. Or we've got Mo getting himself a absolute cracker GT recently on a live bait. So what else to say? And in terms of the non-heads, they've just been absolutely wild. The greys are like Shad at this stage, Vinesh. If you want a grey shark on it, come to the south coast, throw a bait, you're going to get one. It's literally that simple. You're going to throw a bait, you're going to get a grey shark. Or maybe even a spinner, which Ivan got recently down towards Port Edward. So just absolutely lovely to see the non-heads around. In terms of edible fishing, yeah, it's been a little bit slow. It's been a little bit swak, as we've always said in the past. Yes, it is winter. We should start getting those edible fish. However, the sea's just been absolutely big. But those two GTs in particular, Vinesh, dude, they've been caught when the sea was absolutely flat. Massive big swell, ground swell, they're rolling in. And all of a sudden it goes flat for a couple of hours. The guys go and throw a bait. The next one, a couple of sharks and a couple of GTs. Like, nobody's business. So, yeah, that is just, again, the South Coast finish. I don't know what else to say. Otherwise, guys, stay safe. Tight lines. Let's see those catches. And just a PS side note, if you want an on-head, come to the South Coast, because those little greys that are all over the show, those little dart sizes, they're here. That is for sure. I can definitely guarantee you that. Otherwise, guys, enjoy.
Adam, you beauty, what a way to round off the show. Oh my goodness, you cannot miss a fish. He doesn't know what moose is out there. I tell you what, it's just South Coast waters. So whoever said that the non-end action is over, well, you know what, maybe reconsider that statement, because clearly the South Coast is showing us there is still those gray sharks. Like you said, you cannot miss. Put a bait, you get a gray shark. Whoa, and as for Uvongo Pier, you're right, Adam. When last did we hear of action out of Uvongo Pier, and they come back with two massive kingfish like that? Absolutely brilliant stuff coming up from the lower South Coast. All right, guys, so that's the report. Every area is firing, whether you're on the South, North, or Midlands. KZN is absolutely cooking as we get into the winter period. So all that's left for you now is to get out there and get fishing. Make sure to swing by the UKFC. If you're not fishing it, you're still going to see some big fish. It's such a great vibe happening at Umhlanga Ski Boat Club. Sunday is the prize giving. Swing by, say how's it, say hi to the guys. And of course, you know what? Witness some serious pelagics coming out. It is KZN. It is absolutely rocking right now. And we are just at the start of winter. So with that being said, until the next one.
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Bream. Find more episodes at ecr.co.za under podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Let's fish for the future.